Hey, fifth period. Okay, so this time I changed like the video resolution numbers or something, and so we'll see if that makes the video quality better than last time. Well, I'm glad you're here for this one, this live stream. Did anyone do anything for Earth Day yesterday? Like walk outside or look at a plant? No, none of us did anything for Earth Day. I didn't really go outside. I mean, normally I would like to go, do something outdoorsy, like hiking or something, but I can't really do that right now, so I just took care of my plant babies and appreciated them and just watched I've been watching this series on Netflix. It's kind of like a nature documentary series. It's called Our Planet. Actually, it's been pretty interesting for those of you that basically do nothing but Netflix and chill all day these days. You might consider watching that series. It's called Our Planet. Yesterday I watched the one about oh yeah, I have a pretty good view out my window. It's not a lot of trees, but I do get to see, because I'm on the third floor, I can see I can see a lot of, I don't know, land. I can see Pacifica, I can see South San Francisco, and on a very clear day, at the moment, it's pretty clear. It was really cloudy earlier this morning, but it just cleared up, and now the skies are blue, and I can see out to the ocean. If it's clear enough. Did anyone try watching the Meteor Shower last night that I mentioned? well, you would have if you had watched the video that I put up yesterday. So the first meteor shower of spring is called the Lyrid Meteor Shower. It's been going on for the past few days. The peak of the shower was 2 days ago, so Tuesday night. So I tried looking outside a little bit for that one. It was a little difficult though, because since there's so much light pollution, especially in my neighborhood, because I live like across the street from like a laundromat and some businesses, like their lights stay on for a really long time, so it's kind of hard to see. But I saw one. It was kind of cool. Okay, so all of you that are here, take a minute or so and think about what has been like in the past week since I've spoken to you. Think about what has been like a high and or a low for this week. So something good. Try to at least think of something good, and then maybe like something that wasn't so good. So I'm gonna give you a minute to think about that and write it in the chat, and then you can watch this guy. Okay, great. I see sleep for Anjali, working out. Oh, that's cool. Serena celebrating a friend's birthday. I haven't tried doing like kind of, more elaborate, multiple, like celebrating things with other people like virtually. I'm kind of wondering what's gonna happen during Mother's Day, like with my relatives. I don't know if we're just gonna not do anything, or if we should try doing a like everybody is kind of video chatting in from their respective houses. I'm not really sure. I'm kind of like not entirely sure if my relatives are the kind of people that would be down for something like that. Okay, I'm seeing a consistent low of so much homework or the amount of homework. Is like, so I guess now would be a good time to kind of, oh, that's really cool, having a friend. I guess now would be a good time to kind of have a little pulse check for this class. How is the workload feeling? For this class anyway. I know like some other classes might have more work, or I don't know, I keep hearing something about PE or health having a lot of work. What about this class? Is it feeling like too much work for this class? Okay. Okay, that's good feedback. How about in terms of like, how are you feeling about the material that we're covering? Like, I want this unit to be, meaningful to you, and to be something that is actually interesting for you. Yeah, I'm sorry. I am getting an error message that's saying like that my video isn't being very smooth. Okay. The other, like, the feedback that I would kind of like to pick up from the 3 different classes is, I guess, like, if at any point in this unit you become, curious or interested about something, then I would really like to know, because then I could shift around some of the things that we do to kind of meet your interest level. This could be like you want to learn more about a certain topic, or maybe even just like topic aside, you would like more activities that are like more hands-on based, or whatever it is that you want to have like a more enjoyable and meaningful unit for this class. Okay, so I'm seeing that you guys feel pretty just chill about the class. So the direction I'm thinking of going, starting like next week, is kind of having you all do different activities that are kind of meant to Like you're basically kind of collecting data about, you know, your own household or lifestyle or something, and just kind of, I guess, kind of like investigating your own household and just kind of learning about like, you know, the ways that you might not have been aware that your, you know, the items that you own or the food that you get from the grocery store, and how like those actions have like other impacts that you might not have been aware of. And I'm just wondering, like, I think that would be more interesting to you than doing like, you know, other things, like more online based stuff. And I'm just wondering if you agree that sounds more interesting. Okay. Okay, well then I'll check in. I'll do a little bit of checking in about the work that you've done so far between the last time I spoke to you and now. So you watched the story of stuff, or at least you did watch it if you've been following the schedule. If you did watch it, were there any like questions that you had about it? Not necessarily in terms of like filling out the actual worksheet, but just like if you were curious about something, or like what did you think of it? What was your reaction to it? Yes, yeah, probably by the end of today. And then I'm almost done making your quiz. It'll open tomorrow, and then you'll have like 2 days, tomorrow and Saturday, to do it. It's like pretty short. It's not that bad. There are no thoughts about the video story of stuff. Did we watch the video story of stuff? Yeah, you have the quiz and the movie tomorrow. The movie you can do over the weekend if you want. You space it out. I space it out over like 30-minute segments, just because I had a pretty low attention span during the time that I was trying to watch the movie. Okay, well, oh, so you've watched it twice now, Julia. For those of you that, such as what were some things that you disagreed with? Oh, is this the part that was talking about, like, like a plastic radio costs $5 or something, and that probably isn't reflective of like, you know, the cost to extract the parts and then pay the workers and stuff like that. So I think part of what that example was trying to get at is that sometimes in an effort to, because people demand, like, you know, people don't want to pay a lot of money for things. And the example I like, the example I've seen a lot just in my own like research is clothes. So let's say like, you know, you want a shirt that's, you know, not too expensive. You just want a $7 shirt or whatever. But sometimes, and not every you know, clothing company is like this, but some companies, to kind of cut costs and to be able to give the consumer a cheaper price, they might kind of be unethical in the way they treat the people that are making the clothes, and might not pay them a fair salary, so that they don't have, like, they're being paid less than minimum wage or something like that. And that's pretty common in the fast fashion industries. So I think that's kind of what that example was getting at, just that sometimes when we are demanding like cheaper stuff, and companies want to supply us with cheaper things, then like sometimes other people further up the production chain are like being mistreated. Yeah, I agree that our consumption, you know, does have a big part in, like, basically when we buy these things, we are voting with our own dollars that this is what we want and we like this, or that we support this. So yeah, I definitely agree that like the consumers have a lot of power because we are supplying the entire demand for everything. Kalia, do you want to share a link for this video? I'm also interested to see what you, so in that story of stuff worksheet, there was the last question was a reflection question, and honestly you didn't need to have watched the video to answer this question, but the question asks you to list 5 items that you, like you personally, use only once and then immediately trash. So that would be a like single use item. Okay, I will look into that because I'll try finding that video. Thank you, Kalia, for sharing. So what are some of the single-use items that you recognize in your own life? So I'm seeing plastic utensils, tissues, paper, water bottles, plastic bags, chopsticks, paper towels, my mom reuses plastic utensils too. She'll like wash them and reuse them. But then what I keep trying to tell her is the problem that she'll eventually run across is that like she'll every time she's given plastic utensils, she'll like save it. So then she just keeps saving plastic utensils well, it's not my utensil drawer anymore, it's her utensil drawer in her house that I no longer live in. But it's just, growing with plastic utensils because she wants to save it and not throw it away. But then she just keeps accepting more plastic utensils from other sources. And one day the kitchen is going to flood with plastic utensils. Yeah, so, I think for some of our single-use items, there are like alternatives that we can use that are kind of like easy swaps. Like, I'm like 99% of everyone that I come across nowadays has a reusable water bottle. And so, that's a easy switch for like a plastic water bottle because then you can reuse it over and over again. Nowadays, I try to bring my own utensils with me. Although I haven't had like a really big success rate with it because it takes quite a bit of planning. I have to like think ahead a lot of times of like, oh, am I going to come across a situation while I'm out where I may be eating food and the only option for me is going to be like plastic utensils. So only a few times have I actually like been prepared because I like thought ahead and I accurately guessed that I would be needing something to eat with. But yeah, I mean, when I do think ahead, I try. Sometimes I'll like wrap like a spoon or a fork or something in a cloth or something like that. Actually, since I have moved into my apartment, ever since I got married, like was it 9 months? 10 months? 10 months? 10 months ago, I think. We've never bought Ziploc bags. We did not buy any box or pack of Ziploc bags. I haven't used Ziploc bags. And yeah, I just use containers. I just use like my own Tupperware for everything instead of Ziploc bags. Corey, are you talking about like right now because due to COVID-19, grocery stores aren't letting you bring your own reusable bags? I'm just gonna guess you're talking about right now, because like if I go to Lucky's around the corner from me, there's all these notices that say like don't bring your own bags, that you have to let the store give you new bags. When I paid for my stuff the last time I went to Lucky's. The guy who rang me up, he didn't charge me for a bag, which I'm thankful for. I don't know if that's like actually like how they're supposed to be, if that's like actually how they're doing it. I don't know if they're like supposed to be like still charging for bags. They really should though, because like they're not giving us a choice here. So yeah, to answer your question, I don't think stores should charge for bags because we don't even have a choice in the matter. But I don't know if some stores are charging anyway for bags. And then just on a quick note for something I saw earlier in the chat, like there are some things that you know, it would just be really, it could be really too inconvenient or weird or unhygienic to be trying to like find a substitute for certain things that we only use once. For example, like, you know, Kleenex or paper towels or something. And so, you know, for those kinds of things where like, you know, it's just too much trouble to like, I mean, you know, the replacement for single-use Kleenex is a handkerchief, which they used to use like, you know, a couple centuries ago, but to me that's just gross and I don't want to use handkerchiefs. But so then like with those kinds of items, then like where I look to, yeah, it does decompose, it does biodegrade because it is made of organic materials, but where I'm going to look is for brands that kind of maybe have like a certification of like sustainable for like forestry. So like the trees that were cut down to make a paper product, I might look for a certification that kind of certifies that the trees were cut down sustainably instead of just being like clear-cut deforestation. So I don't know if you saw the video on Tuesday that I put up for the climate change notes, and at the end I talked a little bit about shopping ethically and how there's a huge number of certifications out there for like different things. Like for paper products, there's the FSC certification, like forestry sustainable something or other. That applies to like anything that comes from a tree, so like wood products, paper, stuff like that. Like there's a whole bunch of certifications for clothing. I think one of them is called like something organic, something, I don't know. I kind of forget all the acronyms. There's so many acronyms, I kind of get all confused. But like there's certifications for the like the material of your clothing, whether or not the cotton was grown, you know, organically and without chemicals and sustainably or something. And like, so I'm trying to like pay more attention to those kinds of certifications to help me make better, kind of help guide my decisions when I am trying to buy more ethically or buy more sustainably. And I was wondering so as we get like further into this unit and just kind of, you know, learning about, I don't know, how we can make more ethical choices in our lives, I'm kind of hoping that these live streams kind of turn into more of a like like a time where we get to talk, or you get to kind of oh, my orchid's name is Sal, S-A-L. I'm hoping that like we get to use this time where you can kind of bring anything that you're kind of curious about in terms of sustainability or being environmentally friendly. I definitely am no expert. I'm still like learning myself, and I still have like so much to be learning, but like I'm hoping that you can just bring your curiosity to these live streams, just like for the sake of, you know, just for like for your own curiosity's sake of just like wanting to like learn more, or if you're curious about something, or you're just wondering about something, if there's different ways to do this, or you know, what would be a more sustainable option for doing this, or whatever. Like if at any point in time you just suddenly become curious about something, then I'm hoping that like you can bring those questions to these live streams, and we can kind of chat about it. And if I have something in mind already, I can share, or I can look it up and bring it back to you. So on that note, I was just wondering if anyone has anything that they're already currently curious about based off of anything we've discussed, like or any of the activities you've done, or any of the videos you've watched, or just, you know, a random question. Also, fun fact, if you haven't been motivated to be watching these, you know, screencast lesson things I've been recording, if you do watch them, you'll get to see different members of my apartment. Does Australia still? I don't think so. But I mean, well, okay, from what I just briefly looked up, the Australia doesn't make a contribution to like the royal upkeep of stuff, but the monarch of the United Kingdom is also the monarch of Australia. So Australia's monarch is whoever is reigning in the United Kingdom. Does the graph show change? Sea ice from. Wait, hold on. Yeah, so are you saying like for the answer to like the first question where it's saying like what question is this graph trying to answer? I would say yes, the data is showing, we're trying to answer the question of how is the amount of sea ice. Extent is another word for like, you know, amount really. So how does the, you know, average monthly amount of sea ice change from 1978 to 2010? Yeah. Climate change notes, blank bullet point. Okay, hold on, let me find this. Bullet point. Which blank bullet point are you talking about? Because there's actually several. Or like, what is the under which header is this blank bullet point? Like, what bold part? Sources of greenhouse gases. Oh, no, I think that's just a random, that was a, I think that was an accidental bullet point. Since I did just bring up the graph, like, earlier, were there any questions about the graph, or was it okay, like, answering the questions about it? What does the decrease in sea ice amount mean for other species and humans? Like, how does this decrease in sea ice affect life in general, or affect all life? I didn't phrase this question very well. What are the different ways that this decrease in sea ice can affect both human life and non-human life? Okay, there's less habitat for people. More importantly, I would say there's less habitat for the animals that actually live. Yeah, exactly. Yep. How else is this going to affect us? What other really big consequence are we going to face due to decreased amounts of sea ice? Yeah, there are less resources for animals, so we will be decreasing biodiversity. More animals won't be able to survive, but there's still one more really, really important consequence of this. Yes, exactly, Serena. The ice, because it's white, it plays a really important role of helping to reflect the sunlight that's coming in. And if we have less sea ice, then less of the sun's radiation is going to be deflected back into space, and so then the Earth is going to get warmer. And so that's directly contributing to global warming. Okay, so last, sea levels rise. Yeah, and with with more ice turning into liquid water, and so there's more liquid water in the ocean, that will start to flood islands. But not just islands. I mean, like I don't know if you'd read somewhere, but like Foster City is now below sea level. First of all, because it's sinking on top of a landfill, but then also the sea level is rising. So Foster City is kind of in danger of being flooded, and I think now, like, I don't know, the government, mayor, city hall, or whatever, is thinking about like building a wall to kind of keep water out during like flooding times or something. Okay, so in the last like 10-ish minutes or so, you can continue asking questions. You can ask me any question about, I don't know, anything you're curious about, or just, I don't know, anything that you want to know about that could be related to what we've been learning. It could be not related to what we're learning. I made granola last night again. It's like my third time trying out this recipe. I've been trying to get it. I've been like, I don't know, experimenting with the baking time and the baking temperature, trying to get it just right. And I think I got it right this time. Yes, they develop. I do think they like develop like each layer. I think so. I haven't grown an onion before, but I think they grow like develop layers around the outside. I don't think they start with all the layers because I mean, like at least like when I'm watching my celery grow, like I'm watching like new stalks grow, like get added to the out of the center, like out of the center of the celery whatever thing, like these new baby stalks start growing out. So I think onions are the same. They're like, they continuously add layers to the outside as they grow bigger, or adding layers to the outside is how they grow bigger. I heard somewhere that like maybe I'm not sure if this is like a myth or not. Like I haven't tried it, but I thought I read somewhere that put you could regrow an onion like from half of an onion. I don't know if this is actually true, but maybe someone can try it in the next week and tell me if something starts growing. Um, that's actually how I started growing my celery. It was from like I bought celery one day and was cooking with it, and I saved the head of the celery or the bottom of the celery, whatever, and I stuck it in water, and it started growing roots. And then when the roots were big enough, I put it in soil, and now it's growing. But I think it needs a bigger pot now. If every food on Earth suddenly turned into celery, I don't think and I don't think very many species would be able to adapt to a lifestyle to a diet of completely just celery, and I think you'd have a lot of species starting to go extinct because they can't get the nutrients that they need because they need a certain diet, and that's going to spiral the world into like dark, chaotic depression and bad things. Because as we had said at the very beginning of this unit, biodiversity is the key to being resilient. And so if you only have one food that is not very diverse, and it's not going to support very many species, including us, because you know celery does not have all of the nutrients and amino acids that we need for our diet, so we're going to become very nutrient deficient and get sick and then die. If every little living thing was a carnivore, that would not be sustainable because um, if nobody is see plants are the only things that can actually make their own food and take energy from the sun and turn that into like chemical energy. And if nobody is eating that plant, there is no way for anyone to get energy from anywhere. So so if every living thing was a carnivore, and there either nobody ate the plants or there were no plants, eventually we'd all die because we're not getting energy from anywhere. Very interesting, like hypothetical situations. It's like the makings of a new sci-fi book or something. Are aliens real? Well, we do not currently have enough data to answer that question. I think I don't really keep up that much with. Gee, I have no idea if every living thing was actually alive and all living things weren't dead. But to add more to answer to your question, Corey, I may be wrong if at least I think to my best recollection we haven't found existence of life anywhere else on Earth. But they may be out there. But I think at the very least the fact that it's been so difficult to find life, or at least complex life out beyond the Earth. I really think that makes me more appreciative of our planet, because it's like the only place so far in the universe that we found that can support like complex life. So we only have this one home, and if we don't take care of it, we're going to lose the one place that we are able to habitate. The Megalodon? Isn't that like a dinosaur or something? Yeah, it was like, well, it was a shark. Yeah, the Megalodon, it's an extinct shark from a long, long time ago. Okay, so it's almost 1:30, and I have to get off so I can get on for 6th period. But I really like all the questions that you asked. They were really interesting. If you come up with anything that you become interested in, or you want to know about next Thursday, just write it down somewhere, and then bring those questions to next Thursday, and then we can chat about that. Okay? All right. So I'm going to end the stream. Thank you all for joining, and I will see you later.